Hey church family, we are showing you a video about some of the changes that we want to make in the church. So it's been a number of years, but in the past we approved some remodeling for the church. And so we're looking at doing some of those things, but changing it up a little bit to make it more safe for our children that we have in our church and that will be coming to our church. And so right now I'm upstairs and I want to show you a couple things about upstairs. So follow me this way. As you can see, this is wide open. So if we have kids up here, we have no control. We have no way of protecting them. And so one of the things that we want to do is we want to, someplace up here, we want to make it so that we have a space where we can have an adult and it will be accessible only for people who are working with children and children up here. And so we want to make this space up here accessible only to children. And so that will include the bathrooms up here. And so if we have children up here, nobody else will be allowed up here. So we're going to do some changes up here as well. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to knock out a wall. So big change, we want to knock out a wall. So between this room and the next room, we want to make one large room so that we have a greater meeting place for kids. It would be a place that we could use for adults if we have a need, but primarily we want to use it for kids. So it would be flexible if we need it to be, but primarily we want it for kids. And then we do have other rooms that we have classrooms as we have them right now. And right now that wouldn't be changing. We would just be making them focused more for the children. The youth room at the end would be changed into a children's room as well. So we're envisioning this entire hallway full of kids. And we're preparing for that. And that's our goal, is that we fill this with kids. In order to do that, we need to prep for that. And that's part of what we want to plan for. So we're downstairs now. And I'm walking into what is known as the choir room. So if we're moving the youth from upstairs, we want to make this room into a youth room. But not just this room. We want to knock out the wall going into what was formerly Tom's office. And we want to make one larger meeting space. The other advantage to that when we do it is that there's a closet in here. And we always have stuff for a youth group that we use for games and other things. And so that would be our storage place for youth stuff. Because right now we have youth supplies in 3 different places. And so we would make one central storage place for youth. So this would become one giant room. It would be for youth when youth are here. But it could be also, again, flexible, where we can use it for men's breakfast if we want to on a Saturday morning or something like that. This is our offices, and so I just said that we were going to take out the wall to what was formerly Tom's office. Well, we're going to take out the wall to what is now Reagan's office and the main office. So if you come in here, we're imagining this as a large conference room where we can have a large group in here meeting at different times. It's an area where if we knock out this wall, it would make a larger room that would be appropriate for a large group. If it was a smaller group, they could just use part of it. But we want to make a little bit larger meeting areas because when we have people in our rooms, we tend to get in there and we're really packed. We want to open it up a little bit and allow for more people to come in. And so you're probably questioning right now, well, what are we doing with the offices if we just knock down walls? So we're going to turn around and we're going to come back down here. So we're keeping the nurseries exactly the way that they are. We're going to remodel them a little bit just as time goes on, but that's what we have been doing for a while with them. But as you come down this way, we are going to also make the nursery area safe. And so we are thinking about, and what we're presenting is that we want to put, again, some type of barrier here that would be accessible to the people who are working in the nursery, and it would allow kids in, but it will be something that's a little bit more secure. We're really focusing on the safety of our children, and we want to make sure that when families come in, that they see that we value the safety of their children. So that said, these 3 rooms would then become offices. And so part of that would be this doorway would probably end up having to be right about here, because we would need it after the barrier, so that there's not a way to go through because there's another door over there. And so we would, as we come down, we haven't decided who would have what office yet, but the last one we did talk about that we would make that into our main office, and we would also make this our main office entrance during the week, so that if somebody comes to the church, we'll put a sign out there saying that's the office, and it'll allow people to know where to go when they come with a package or something during the week. And so we would also have it so that we can see who's outside that door when we're in the office, because currently whoever's in our office cannot see who is at our main door. And so that's another thing that we want to make sure that we put into this. I'm at the back of the church right now, and Ed and other people did an amazing job of creating this wall, which has a number of purposes. It is a retaining wall. It has French drains in it, makes it so that the water drains. And so this has become an actual usable space now. And so we're thinking about making this our playground, because if our children are upstairs, they come down the stairs with an adult, and they would be let into the playground. And so it would make it so that it would be an enclosed space back here, which we would have to put up some type of fence around it and playground equipment, and we would make it so that this area would become a place where children can play. It's also safer because it is not out right next to the road, and it makes it so that our children are a little bit more protected in the back of our building. And so we're going to, looking at this to become a playground area, we're going to then take out our junipers back here, which we've taken out some of the junipers around the church, but we want to make over here, as you come out from what are currently the offices, we want to put in tiers, and we want to make it kind of an amphitheater seating so that we could have a small outdoor service, or we could have youth group outside, or who knows what we would use it for, but it would make it just a more usable space outside at the back of our building. And the junipers are not very usable. They're kind of pokey. They kind of hurt. So we want to make it where it's a place where people would want to come out and sit. And the great thing about it is if you're out here, you have an awesome view of Audubon, Mount Audubon, and the rest of the Front Range from there. Hopefully you guys look at the plans and watch our video to see what we said. And really, I hope it inspires you, because we're looking at changing our church to making it more inviting for people to come in and see what we have and what we have to offer.